This episode of the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast is brought to you by Groundhog Day is an event, not a business strategy. Are you ready to finally solve those pesky issues that keep holding back your business success and never seem to go away? Embrace the power of the spring formula that unearths the issues and opportunities burrowed beneath the surface, and grow your business so you thrive from your intersection of your brilliance and your passion. Claim your copy today at www.thegroundhogbook.com. Welcome to the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast. Join us as we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who reveal what they are doing to make the world a better place by being part of it. Be sure to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, lean in, tune in, get your notepad and 2 pens ready, and let's get started.
My name is Adam Homey. I am your host, and I am honored by your wise decision to tune in and invest in yourself today. Right now, we are speaking with Mike Grady, who's known as the Entrepreneur Real Estate Consultant. And let me tell you a little bit about Mike. There's a very extensive biography of him. You can find it on our website at brilliancepluspassion.com. I'm just going to give you a few snippets right now just for sake of time. Mike Grady is an internet entrepreneur in the direct selling industry. A natural-born hustler with leadership skills gained from the United States Air Force, Mike has excelled in business, most recently in the real estate industry. Just a little bit of background. Mike learned the value of hard work early on working around the house, and this allowed him to hold and excel jobs he took before graduating high school. He was recruited by the United States military and joined the Air Force just after graduation. So again, visit our website, and there's more to that story. And I can tell you that right now, he's here to help you by sharing his passion with real estate and the direct selling industry. His latest successful project has been showing homeowners how to pay off their homes in 5 to 7 years on their existing income and without having to decrease their monthly expenses, which, believe me, is a conversation I've been having a lot lately because I'm looking to potentially get into doing some more real estate investing on my own. So, Mike Grady, welcome aboard.
Hey, Adam. Thanks for having me. It's an honor.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first question that we have for our guests is, how does the work that you do, in your own words, how does the work that you do make the world a better place for your clients, customers, and the world at large?
Well, Adam, it's pretty simple. I help people keep more of their money. You know, they worked hard for it, and the last thing they should do, in my opinion, is be giving it away to other people. They should really keep it for themselves and for their own families.
Right. And I think that's very important. So if you could also just tell us a little bit more, what is it that you do? Like, what products and services do you provide? So if you could tell us what you share with me in the green room and anything else that will help our listeners understand how you can benefit them.
Sure. Well, as you stated so eloquently, I show people how to pay off their homes in 5 to 7 years in their existing income without having to decrease their monthly expenses by switching from a mortgage to a first lien position HELOC. And there's a specific strategies that we do within our coaching program where we show people how to do that. And it's been tremendously effective, and the testimonials have just been great.
Absolutely. So in your experience, what are 3 of the most common questions that people in general have when asking you about what you do, like the frequently asked questions?
Right. Well, the first thing people ask when I tell them about this, they say, is this real?
Yeah.
Right. Because a lot of times you're trained mentally to believe that the only way you can get a house is through a mortgage. Right. So when I explain the process to them, the second question that you'll typically ask is, well, why don't I know about this? And a real quick answer to that is banks they sell mortgages as one of their primary products, as a bank has to make money. So they make a ton of money through closing costs and different fees. I mean, just last year alone, banks made billions of dollars in overdraft fees from ATM withdrawals and all these other different things, and they make a ton of money. And the third question, once I explain all this stuff to them, I put them through the system. I show them the mortgage calculator, which tells them their number based upon their income and their expenses. The third question they always ask is, well, how do I get started? Because anybody that sees it says, well, I got to do this. I mean, why pay more years on your mortgage than you should if you could pay it off in 4, 5, 6, or 7 years.
Yeah, if I were having questions for you, one of mine would be the question that I hear from many people is, well, my credit score isn't exactly 800, and I'm stuck in this rabbit hole if I have like $15,000 in credit card debt, and I just can't find a buyer so I can just pay the damn thing off. So so with that working against me and nobody wanting to help me, even the companies that promised me an instant 3.9% lowered consolidation rate and a 5-year payment plan, I just can't get out of that thing. So not only am I getting eaten alive on mortgage, I can't fix my credit score. So how am I going to buy a house? Get a mortgage?
Well, the beauty of this is like, yeah, I mean, credit is important. We usually typically advise our clients that you need around a 680 credit score and 20% equity in your home to switch your mortgage. And if you can do that, you're going to free up a lot of money, because what happens, man, when you're paying your mortgage, and this is typically the biggest asset people have and the biggest payment they have is their mortgage, right? So they're going to pay $1,000 a month just for an example into their mortgage. Now, if you have a mortgage, it's close-ended, which means you don't have access to your money. When you have a HELOC in the first position that we train on, it's open-ended. So all the money you put in on your HELOC, you have access to. So if you have debt, right, and you have an extra $40,000 in your HELOC and your debt's $20,000, you can take that from your HELOC and apply it to your credit card debt, which the interest is a lot higher. Get rid of that and then just focus on the strategy to pay down your home through the HELOC. But the biggest point about that is having it open-ended, so you have the access to your money. When you have a mortgage, you don't have access to what the bank does, and if you want access to it, you're gonna have to refinance, which means you're gonna have to pay the fines, pay all the fees again, and all the closing costs just to access your own money.
So if you could just define for us one more time what a HELOC is, just so our listeners can begin to form a frame of how you help them.
Sure. A HELOC means home equity line of credit.
Okay.
Yeah, home equity line of credit. So it's the same thing as a mortgage, except it's open-ended, it's not closed, and there's no closing costs associated with home equity lines of credit, and there's no mortgage insurance for home equity lines of credit because they're not mortgages.
Right. Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit and discover a little bit more about you personally. And there's a few questions we like to share here on Brilliance Plus Passion, and one of which is, what do you hope that people say about you when you're not around to hear it?
Well, that's a good question. And I've heard this from other people that, things get back to you when you talk to different people, and, you'll get relationships with certain people and they'll say, hey, this person, this is what they've said about you and all these things. And what I hear the most is that I'm honest and direct. And quite frankly, I just don't bullshit people. I'm ready straight up for you. I'll tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Yeah, you certainly are very, very much a to-the-point guy. I've been doing podcast hosting for almost a decade now, and I have a sense of who I'm speaking with, even in the green room before we go out and begin either the live stream or the recording. You are one of those to-the-point type people. Now, for many folks that I know, that's a confidence inspirer, because they know there's no fluff, there's not a lot of BS, and you're telling them a straight story.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So if I was saying something about you when you weren't there, that would probably be what I would say is, this guy really gets to the point. He doesn't take you down a lot of rabbit holes. He doesn't waste a lot of time with you. He'll lay it out for you straight up and give you a framework within which to make the best decision for yourself.
Right. No, it's a good point.
Yeah. So what motivates and inspires you to keep going when you're having a tough time or having a challenge? Maybe that might not be, actually that is something that we can discuss. We all have things where, it just seems like, I can't get past this, or something hits us from out of the blue. So what motivates and inspires you to keep going when that happens?
Look, man, when everybody thinks like that, and everybody thinks like that, and it's fine. And the first thing to understand when you're thinking like that is, don't beat yourself up over it, because everybody goes through the ups and downs, and the key is to ride it right in the middle the best you can. So in other words, when things are really great, don't get on such a high, because when they come back down, you're going to get that crashing feeling. And the same thing when it's really low, don't get stuck there, because eventually you're going to come back up. But what motivates and inspires me to keep going when I feel that way is just always knowing that someone always has it worse. And my advice to everybody is just deal with it and keep moving forward, because there's always somebody in a worse position. I mean, there's someone that just lost their home, someone that just, they found out their kid just died in a car wreck, or someone just got cancer or whatever, you know what I mean? So there's all these different things that are happening. There's 8 billion people in the world. So all these crazy things are constantly happening. And if you're lucky enough to just have maybe a minor financial issue, or you're going through something that you just, it didn't work out the way you wanted it to, but it's kind of working out that way, but you didn't really get to the goal that you really wanted to, just realize that's all right and just keep moving forward, and don't worry too much about it, because if you worry about it, you're going to miss the next thing coming.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Now, finally, and I know you have a special gift for our listeners. We'll get to that in a minute, but in general right now, what is one action you want our listeners to take as soon as they finish listening to us today?
I like people, if they could just take a breath, calm down, and keep an open mind, and just don't listen to what society tells you is right, because everybody has the ability for discernment, which means deciding right from wrong, being able to identify what you should spend your time on, because a lot of people spend too much time in their own minds and overthinking things.
Yeah.
So my advice is everybody just stay cool, stay calm, know what you're looking at, do your research, and trust yourself, and trust your instincts, right? Like the instinct that's in your gut, right? Your gut has more neurons in your brain for a reason, because that gut feeling is your instinct. And if I could tell anybody one thing, is trust that instinct and go for it.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. So first of all, thank you so much for being with us today. And before you go, I know you have a little something for us. So for all of our listeners, I want you to, right now, before you do anything else, go to actually, there is no www. You can just go to payoffyourhousefast.com/quiz. You can see it on your screen if you're watching the video version. It's payoffyourhousefast.com/quiz. And this is a mortgage calculator you can use to see how fast you're going to be able to pay off your house and get the free, and you're also going to get the free ebook on the specific HELOC strategy. That's home equity line of credit that Mike defined for you earlier, that saves homeowners on average $100,000 in interest. We discussed how to apply that with credit card debt, how to apply that with other forms of debt. So this is a great gift for you. Go to payoffyourhousefast.com/quiz. And that's what Mike has for you today. So my cat, Princess Alessandra, is telling me that we need to wrap up here. That was her little way of doing it, by shifting my webcam. So with that, Mike Grady, thank you again. It's been an honor, and believe me, an education.
Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it, sir.
Thank you for tuning into the Brilliance plus Passion podcast, where we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who are making a difference for their community, market, and audience. Remember to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Brilliance plus Passion podcast.